Hi everyone, I'm Ashley and I'm a full-time artist. Today I'm giving you a tour of my basement art studio and showing you how it's transformed over the years. I'll also take you along for a recent restocking and organization day and show you how we built this huge wall easel and how I currently use it in my art practice. This basement is actually where I created my first art space when we moved into our current house 12 years ago. What started out as a pretty rough basement eventually became an amazing workspace, and over the years it's gone through several different stages. At first it was very basic and it was a great little studio for a while, but there was one thing that I never really loved about it: the concrete floor. It always just made the basement feel a little dirty and drab. So one day I decided to just paint the entire floor white, and then while I was at it I painted all of the shelves white too, and I instantly loved how much cleaner and less cluttered everything felt. I also decided that I really wanted a huge workspace in the middle of the room, so I put a piece of styrofoam that you see on the floor as sort of a test just to figure out how much space I wanted the table to take up. And I lived with it for a while, walking around it and seeing how it worked, and eventually decided that a 4x8 work table would be perfect. So Brett built one for me right in the middle of the room, and of course I painted the top and bottom white too. I was super productive in this space for several years. I hung up things that inspired me, I painted quotes on the door, I gradually added better lighting, and created a lot of original artwork and content down in this space. I even eventually took over another larger section of the basement, and Brett built this wood wall that I could use as a backdrop for photographing artwork. Around that same time, we started talking about renovating the Main Street building downtown. But this basement studio was my primary art space for about 5 years. And when we restored the new building, I slowly started painting in that space more and more, and as I slowly moved my painting supplies downtown, the basement space naturally evolved again. Now it's primarily my supply storage and shipping area, but I still come down here to work on artwork every once in a while, especially when I'm working on something really large or something that's just too messy to do in my gallery. Because I spend so much time downtown, this basement space does tend to get out of hand, so recently I decided it was finally time to spend a day cleaning, organizing, and restocking everything. I really don't like working in a super messy or disorganized space, and it actually takes away from my creativity just knowing that everything is a mess. So taking the time to put everything back where it belongs is definitely worth it for me. One of the main things that I keep down here is my extra art print inventory along with all of my packaging materials. My first project of the day was adding an extra shelf to this unit so that I could distribute the weight more evenly and hopefully keep my shelves from sagging over time. I cut and I trim my prints ahead of time, but I don't package them until I need finished inventory for the store or for Etsy orders, and it saves a huge amount of space. Once I added the extra shelf, I put all of the bins back and organized them by theme, which will probably only stay organized for about a day, but at least it looks good for now. I also had a huge order of packing supplies that needed to be unpacked and put away. These boxes are really heavy, so Brett had brought them downstairs for me, and they had pretty much stayed exactly where he put them. I started by unpacking all of the backer boards in clear bags and putting all of the smaller quantities away first. Everything has a specific place because it makes packing orders so much faster and easier for me. I have various sizes of clear bags for my prints, and I have flat mailers as well, and these cardboard tubes for shipping larger prints. Before putting all of the backer boards away, I wanted to make sure I had actually received the correct quantity. And counting hundreds of pieces of cardboard individually would take forever, so I have a much easier system. I know approximately how many boards fit into an inch of height, so I can simply measure the height of the stack and do the math. I do the same thing for all of the different sizes and then double check everything against the packing list from the company. Then I stack the boards by size wherever I can find a good spot. I try not to store anything directly on the floor because you never know when you might have a leak or some other basement disaster. Underneath my work table is actually a great place to store them. They're out of the way, but still really easy to grab when I'm packaging orders. Next, I restocked my work area, including these craft paper envelopes that I use for mailing smaller items like stickers. I also organized some of my office supplies and added a new roll of my Do Not Bend stickers to this little wooden label organizer. Then I just did some general organizing around the rest of the room. I'd also had a few shipments of canvases and wood blanks come in too, so I organized those by size. This way I can easily glance around and see what I have in stock and what I'm starting to run low on. After that, I moved over to my painting area. This is definitely one of the places that can get really messy because once I start painting, paint and supplies somehow end up everywhere. The nice thing about having a basement studio is that I can be a little messier down here. Once everything was put away, I got out the vacuum and cleaned the entire studio. I like to keep this area relatively dust-free because I do a lot of my print and art packaging down here. After that, I had a large landscape painting that I needed to ship to someone in Texas. I added hanging hardware and then I wrapped the painting really well in bubble wrap. I added several layers of cardboard to protect it from getting punctured during shipping, and then I put the whole thing into a large shipping box and covered it with fragile stickers, and off it went to Texas. After that, I spent some time organizing a few more shelves and hanging some things on the walls. These old letters were originally from an old local motel called the Teddy Bear Motel, which, according to local lore, is called that because Elvis had stopped there at one point. When the motel closed down, I bought all of the old 1950s era letters. The beer letters, B-E-E-R, are now hanging in Brett's Tap Room here in Bryson City, so it's a fun little nod to local history. Brett came downstairs at some point to check on my progress and say hi, and I had just broken down a bunch of cardboard boxes, and he was nice enough to take all of those away from me. A few days later, I was downstairs packing orders again, and this space was just so much nicer to work in now that everything was clean and organized. Having everything in its place makes it really easy to grab what I need and package orders efficiently. I also wanted to show you a little more about this wall easel that I've been asked about because I absolutely love having it down here. It's adjustable, so I can work on some really large paintings. I can actually paint a canvas that's up to about 8 feet tall on this thing. We built this wall easel around 2015, and it's worked really well for me over the years. Here I'm just starting a few landscapes, and once I get several layers of paint down, I'll take them to my smaller studio. It's nice to get the big messy part done down here and then take them downtown when they're ready for more detailed work. When building this wall easel, the first thing we did was bolt a long 2x4 base about 20 inches from the wall and across the entire length of the studio. Then Brett cut 4 more 2x4s to use as the vertical supports, and he drilled holes into them every 6 inches, and then I used 6-inch dowel pieces to hold the horizontal piece of the easel. This means I can adjust the height depending on the size of the painting I'm working on. I also have this piece of plywood that I can put across the bottom for smaller paintings so they don't fall through the opening between the 2x4s. And I actually have 2 of these easels, which is really useful because I can have paintings drying up off the floor while also having other works in progress going at the same time. This has turned out to be a really great area for working on large pieces or paintings that are just a little too messy to do in my downtown gallery. We also built this rack out of 2x4s to hold boxes of canvases, and it also holds these plastic bins where I keep paint supplies and other materials. So this is what the studio looks like when you first walk in. I still have my painted door from several years ago, and honestly I really just like having this little space to come back to. It stays about 60 degrees year-round because it's a basement, and I also have a dehumidifier down here to help keep everything dry. Just the studio space of this room is about 600 square feet, which is actually about the same size as my store downtown. So even though I don't really use it as my primary studio anymore, it gives me a huge amount of space to store supplies, package orders, and work on larger paintings. It's pretty amazing to look back at how much this space has changed over the years, from a pretty rough, unfinished basement to my first real art studio, and now into the storage, shipping, and large painting workspace that it is today. Thanks so much for joining me and taking a little tour. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and leave me a comment, and I'd love to know what you think. And I'll see you in the next one.